Welcome to part one of the Ford Transit mobile detailing van build. So in this video, one of the main problems, the first thing that I want to address with this van is I can't reverse very well because these windows are tinted to 5%, which is probably not legal in this state, but that's how I bought it from the dealer. And there are no windows here. There's also no windows in the back, which makes it incredibly difficult to reverse because I can hardly see these mirrors. I can't see out the back at all. So the first thing we're going to be installing is this digital rear view mirror. This is the Jansite rear view mirror. So let's take a look at how we're going to be installing this. When we come to the back of the vehicle, you'll notice that there aren't really too many good panels to actually mount the rear view camera on. One of the things I was thinking initially is using these as a good mounting place. The other thing we were thinking is maybe putting on a license plate holder and then drilling into the license plate holder so we don't have to drill into the car itself. But ultimately we came up with a very good idea, and that was to actually put it all the way up here. So as you can see, this car comes with these little rails right here, and we were able to jerry rig the rear view camera onto one of the screws right here, and the wiring goes really neatly just through there. So if we actually open up the doors on the back, don't mind the mess, you'll notice that this is where the wiring and the magic happens. We took a couple zip ties right here and put it around here just to keep the wires nice and neat. And it just kind of goes up and through the side right here, all the way through to that little middle divider, and then to the right side, because we're actually going to be trying to get it into the fuse box so that it doesn't have to use the car plug-in. Now, when you're looking at this, remember thinking, this is ugly, this is terrible, you don't want to see the wiring, which yes, I completely agree. The idea is to have panels all around here. So we're going to tuck this wiring behind the panels so that we actually can't see the wiring at all. That's why it's really nice to have it kind of be bare bones as of right now. We can get all these features installed and then kind of clean it all up and make this whole thing look a lot nicer. So if we come around to the passenger side, what you'll notice is you can't really see the wiring other than this stuff right here. It comes through on the top right here, right seamlessly into the trim, and then it comes out right here along the trim again, and this is where it goes through the glove box, back out the glove box, and we are able to plug it into the 12-bolt plug. But this is going to be a little bit outdated. We're going to try something a little bit different. One more thing I forgot to mention is that with this Jansite digital rear view mirror, I also had to get the rest of the rear view mirror mount. So this right here, everything other than the actual screen itself, did not come with the mirror. This is what I need specifically for my Ford Transit to actually get it to go right up here. Now, again, don't mind the mess. We have our fuse box toolkit right here, and our fuse box is actually right under here. So it should be pretty nice for the wiring that's already coming through from the glove box, and we should be able to plug it in. So let's try that out. Okay, we got that off, and there is the wonderful fuse box. So now we can plug our fuse box kit into any of the unused fuses right there. So let's take a look at what comes in our little fuse box adapter kit and see if we can plug it in. Part one of the fuse box adapter kit is this right here. This is the one that actually has the wire that's going to plug into the digital rear view mirror, and this right here is the part that's going to go to ground, and then one into the fuse. The second kit comes with these adapters and these fuse box adapters right here, as well as this little handy dandy pulling out fuse box thingy. So I pulled one of the fuses out so that we can take a look at exactly which one of these adapters we need, and it looks like we need the long pronged tiny little boy. Now that doesn't make much sense to you, but it makes a lot of sense to me, so let's pull the right one out of there. So as you can see right here, this is what we just pulled out, and that's the one that we have to put in. So I'll go ahead and put this one back in because we actually do need this fuse, and then we can use that one and plug it in with this adapter kit. Now that you've got it plugged in to your fuse box in here, and you got the wire coming out, so I've got it coming out this side because it'll meet up with the rear view camera wire that comes from here, and ideally we'll have it set up here, so we'll just have the wire coming up, around, and plug right in. But for now, we can't really do the adhesive. The adhesive needs a proper temperature. We have this little jerry rig thing that came with the car. There's a little gap right here, so we just kind of slide it right in between that gap. It moves a bit, that's fine. This is what we're going to deal with for now, just to see if it works, if the setup works. So let's get these cables plugged in to that, see if it works.
One eternity later.
Now, for some reason, the fuse box kit didn't work, so we're actually just gonna plug it right here into the little cigarette lighter port, and we're gonna plug it in. So this is what it should look like when it does get power. And now we can actually see out of the back. So here's the thing, and the front as well, but I don't like either of these two modes. This one is the best. You end up seeing more of the actual camera on each side rather than when you have one individually. So let me show you that again. So this is the rear. This is what you see from the rear. You can actually scroll down and you can scroll up to adjust it how you want. And this is the front. You can see that it's not really looking at anything. And then once you put them together, you can actually see a lot out of the back and out of the front. So there are quite a few settings on this thing as well. You can go to the home button. This is where you can go back to watch the video. You can take a picture, you can have the playback and the settings. So there are a lot of things that you can do here for the video resolution. You can change that if you wanted to. I like to give the highest I can. Streaming media, all rear, volume setting, photo quality, exposure, night vision, motion detection, record audio. So basically just a lot of settings. Now ultimately we want to get that mounted on the rearview mirror, but it's way too cold to do that right now, and we want to get it plugged and hooked up into the fuse box, so we'll have to figure those two things out. But I will say this thing is really handy if you don't have a rear view mirror, and if you could probably set it up in the right place, it's probably better. It's not super great at night. A lot of these lights right here, if somebody's behind you, it's just going to be bright lights. You're not going to actually tell what car it is or anything like that. It just helps you know if there is a car behind you and in the lanes to your left and to your right. The other thing, don't leave this plugged in. At least turn it off. You can turn it and hold it off just like this by holding it, and there you go, it goes away. But like I said, don't leave it plugged in. It seems to drain your battery, your car battery. I came back after a couple days. This thing is always on even when the car is off, so I ended up draining my battery. I had to jump it, but overall I personally really enjoy this thing. I think it's helped quite a lot in terms of just freeway driving, knowing when there's somebody on my left or on my right, because obviously I can't see really anything. I mean, there's this behind me, so I can't look out of the back. This is one of the cheapest options out on the market, so I'm assuming that some of the other ones have much better cameras and probably work a lot better. But I like it for what it is. It was about $70. Obviously, I have a SIM card that I got for it, so that's another $10. I got the fuse box kit, which is gonna be another $10, $15. But this overall, really happy with it. Really like how it works. I'm actually really excited to see what it's gonna look like when I have it mounted up there and no wires dangling here. Very smooth, nice connection just down the side. The second modification that we're doing in this video is we got winter tires on this bad boy. So as you can see, we did get a little bit of snow. There's snow on the car, so we had to get winter tires, and this has actually helped a lot to make sure that I get where I need to go safely. It's finally that time. We have the van behind us, and as you can see, there's nothing on there. I'm going to be showing you how you can apply decals onto your vehicle. This is a business vehicle, so we're going to be applying some business decals. It's really simple in terms of materials. All you need is some masking tape. You're going to need a razor, and you're going to need a squeegee. Along with that, you're going to need your decal, but in reality, it is just these four things. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you're going to do is set it up where you want it to be. So you're going to kind of place it wherever you want it to be. I might put it right in the middle of the door, or I could put it in the middle of this frame right here. I'm not all too picky about the placement, but you do want to make sure that it is straight. We're also going to be using this masking tape to make sure that everything on here is flat, it's not bunched up, and we're also going to be using it on the sides here to make sure that we line up where it should be going. Now on the sides here, you're going to want to rip the tape. Once you have the tape ripped up on the edge like this so you can fold it up, it'll be easy to line it up on the line that you had it. That way you're making sure that you're going straight across. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pull back this side. I'm just going to do a small section at a time. You want to make sure that you have your razor on hand. Since this is a little bit smaller, might be a little bit more tricky, but here we're going to pull back this masking layer. So slowly pull against everything. So pull against it, not just down, pull against to make sure that all of it stays on this paper, on this tape. And as you're slowly peeling it all off, you'll see that it's sticking with. Now the trick is to cut this back layer off. So that's where your razor is going to come in handy. Make sure you're being careful with the razor not to cut the actual vehicle. But once you've got a section of it off, what you're going to do is you're going to come back over, make sure it lines up with your tape, and then kind of get those edges in. This is where you're going to take the squeegee, and you're going to slowly squeegee down the section that you have. make sure to go kind of diagonally and across. Try to get those air bubbles out, but make sure that it doesn't scrunch up on itself. You want to make sure that these are all staying flat. Make sure you push down pretty hard on it, and then we're going to go over to the other side. So we're gonna take this middle tape off, kind of fold it over itself. Then we're going to take this side. Then you're gonna take the other side, peel it back to where your paper is, and slowly peel that off, making sure that everything you want on the vehicle stays on the sticky paper. Then you're just gonna do the same process here. Just make sure that it lines up with the tape that you put down. Make sure that you're really pulling on those edges. Take your squeegee and squeegee out the air bubbles here, making sure that everything is nice and flat. Don't be afraid to put a little bit of pressure on there. And then this is the fun part. You're gonna take one corner of that backing paper and pull against it. So not out, don't pull out, pull down and across. This way you're putting less pressure on the new decal that you put on there. And as you start pulling it, you'll notice that voila, you have your decal right there on the vehicle. And as you can see, one decal from the back is complete. Now we're gonna focus on the phone number across this part, then we're gonna look at doing the logo all the way across the top. And if you've done it correctly, it should end up looking like this. We've got the sides done as well. This vehicle is ready to go. So here it is. We got this giant piece of wood. We've marked where we need to cut it. This is actually gonna go sideways in that front part because it's not wide enough right here. We've done this with some cardboard aided designs right here. And this is the beginning of the base for the build out. Let's see how it goes. It's an extremely windy day, but we gotta make some progress on the van. So what you'll notice is that we do have the framing of the wood in. We've cut out those little steps right there. And this piece actually moves. So we have two separate pieces right here. We're gonna have to join those together. We got two 4x8s, but this is not exactly 4. It's a little bit more than 4 wide. So the best way to do it was to cut everything and kind of put two together. So the plan now is to take these brackets right here. I'm gonna put them on the underside of that connection right there. And then I'm gonna grab the rubber plating. I have some diamond rubber plating that we're gonna try to put over it to make this base look really nice. So let's get started. Okay, so we got some updates. These brackets didn't really work well, so for now we're just gonna skip combining these two because there's gonna be a frame up here anyway, and there's gonna be some wood that gets screwed in that's probably gonna keep those two together. So right now we're going over with the rubber plating. We're gonna be using this nail gun right here, putting in, or sorry, staple gun. We're gonna be putting some staples in, keeping this in place. Keep in mind, this is my first time doing it, but this is, you know, DIY. We're learning on the fly, learn how to do it. So let's see how it goes. I'm taking a little break, sitting in the van. We've got 2 of the 3 strips laid down. This 3rd strip should be the final one for the majority of the wood, and then we're just gonna have to get those trim pieces done. But you know, sometimes you just gotta sit and enjoy the sunny weather in this winter. I mean, it is really nice out for now. Okay, so we got the flooring in. As you can see, there's a little bit of a line here of the wood that you can see, and on the edges there's a few lines as well. We got the little hooks in as well. These 2 are for sure solid. Those back 2 need to be lined up a little bit better. The holes are in there kind of, but we got to move it over a little bit more. So it isn't done to a professional standard. There's a lot that still needs to get done. Like on these edges, gotta get, like I said, this needs to get figured out, and this right here, this flap, as well as this right here. But overall, if you take 5 feet back, like they say, 5-foot van, it looks pretty okay. It looks a lot better than what was originally under there. Like if we take a look at this material right here, this is what was under there, and it was all dirty and scraped up. So this looks a lot better. And as we get the van built out, this is just a nice base to have, just a nice solid color. So imagine that there's gonna be like a little wall still here, water tank behind it, all my reels, everything here. You're probably not gonna be spending too much time looking at the flooring, but the fact that we got something nice in as a base, something that we can screw into, like a nice frame into, I think this looks a lot better. So I'm gonna load up my stuff. I've got it all out here. So I'm gonna load up all my stuff, call it a day.